Hey guys, welcome back to the CNSL Season 7. Today we're going to be starting the round of 16. So we just have 16 players left out of the original 32. This is another group phase and it's going to be played just like ASL. What does that mean? Well, that means that the first two matches will both be best of one. For instance, in this group, Mihu and Leta both going to play a best of one, and then Saber and Scan going to play a best of one, and then from there, everything will be best of three. So you cannot qualify and you cannot get out without playing at least a best of three. So anyways, this is going to be a much longer format than what we had in the round of 32. So these groups will be split up into multiple videos, but we'll make sure to have a lot of games on each one. So yeah, today we're going to have the first two best of one matches here, Mihu versus Leta and Saber versus Scan. And we're going to have, first up, let's take a look at the group real quick before we get into the first game. Mihu, Leta, Saber, Scan. Who wins this group? Okay, in my opinion, Scan is the best player in this group by a fair margin. Leta does definitely have more experience than Scan, but I think Scan mechanically is above Leta. Saber definitely showed a lot of skill in that last round, and by the way, I guess I forgot to mention this. Piano had to drop out. He had other obligations. So because he dropped out, Saber got third place in that group and gets to move on. I think that that's great because that group was super tough with both Piano and Ruin in it. So anyways, I think Scan right now, I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but I'm excited. We're just starting out. I think Scan is probably the favorite, and between Mihu and Leta, I could absolutely see Mihu possibly taking down Leta. Like, I don't have a ton of faith in Leta, even though he does ASL a fair amount and he has been improving still. But I'm going to go with Scan winning the group, Leta in second place. I don't know. I guess we'll see. We're going to get into it. Game number one here. Let's go. Up at the top center, we have none other than Mihu. And on the bottom left, we have Leta. So, this is Apocalypse, a three-player map. As far as positional advantage goes, it 100% does go towards Mihu, but we never know if it will get into that type of dropship type of play. If it does, that can be very tough because it's so easy to fair units from the front line into his main. But yeah, it's a little bit early to be talking about that right now. It definitely a very exciting group. A lot of Terran players in here, so it could end up being a pretty long one as well. My current plan, by the way, for these groups is to do the best of one matches together and then each best of three together. And we'll see if that works out time-wise. With the 5 best of ones in the previous groups, we ended up with between an hour and 35 minutes or so per group, which was totally fine, but groups of this format can sometimes take up to 5 hours. So yeah, gotta split it just a little bit. Hope you guys have been enjoying the CNSL. I certainly am. One little note is that, CasterMuse has opened up a match-a-reno if people want to help out with the prize pool and the funding of this tournament. ArtosisCasts has already sponsored the event, but one thing to mention is there is a little coupon code there that if you just sign into Match-a-reno, you can boost the prize pool by a little bit, and it's not a lot. It's like 25 cents, but you know what? Since each one of these CNSL videos gets like over 10,000 views, it turns out to be actually quite a bit of money. I think it actually maxes out before it can be used 10,000 times for sure. But anyways, if you want to check that out, the link is in the description below. So thank you very much, guys. And anyways, please do enjoy the group as we are moving forward in this game. Looks like mirrored builds, just going for probably factory expansion on both sides. As far as style goes, Leta always known for being kind of a Wraith type guy. I do expect some sort of starport play, maybe a factory expansion into a starport. Mihu, on the other hand, does not go 3 factory Vulture very often. He's more into like 2 factory Goliath. He's more into fast mines, that type of play. So I'm kind of very excited to watch Mihu throughout this group because his style actually is very similar to mine in Terran vs. Terran. I really like some of the builds that I've seen Mihu do in the past, and I have certainly tried them out for myself and found them very likable. So I'll kind of guide you through that as we watch. Factory about the same time on both sides. And Mihu going to turn around and run home with that SV. Does not want to be losing that. 2 Marines being made. One Marine for Mihu. And that's not too surprising for me. Okay, he scouted pretty quickly and saw what was going on. With Mihu's general style, 1 Marine is more acceptable. With other styles, if you're going, you know, like a 3 factory Vulture, or if you're going for Starport, 2 Marines is definitely better. So you might ask, like, wait, what does that have to do with absolutely anything? And one of the important things, well, first off, you need a Marine just to push the SCV away so that it doesn't harass you nonstop and you lose mining time. But you also want Marines to be able to hit the barracks, right? So when the barracks floats in, if there's no Marines, and you'll actually see this, and I'll point it out, I bet you it happens within this group because we have so many Terran players, but sometimes you see Vultures run in and just try to snipe out the Marines, so the Marines can't put damage on the barracks, okay? So for instance, let's say that you're going 3 factory here as Leta. You want the 2 Marines constantly hitting the barracks so it has to fly away and it doesn't burn down. And that will make it so it's harder for your opponent to scout exactly what you're doing. Okay, see, notice how he comes in and kills that instantly. Now, ooh, he will lose the Vulture, but that was 100% worth it, killing off a Marine and the SCV building the command center. But look, there's the armory. So that's why the Marines don't matter as much, and you don't necessarily need to. You get 1, and then you're going to get Goliaths, so the barracks is not going to be able to stick around anyways. Whereas over here, we have 2 factories so far. Oh, it actually is an armory. So he's going to be able to get Goliaths as well, and the barracks isn't going to be able to stick around. But, you know, if you're not going for a Goliath-type build, generally the 2 Marines are going to not only help on defense, but help to push out that scouting barracks. But anyways, yeah, it looks like a very, very similar build on both sides. Leta hasn't gone add-on, and we have gone add-on here for Mihu. So, like, looking at these builds, I actually do prefer Mihu's build for sure. The mines are going to be better, obviously, than no mines. If you're going to go 2 factory, no add-on, you have to put some pressure on, or your opponent has to be playing aggressively. And if it's more of a middle-of-the-road build, you're actually, like, a little bit behind, because you shouldn't have enough to do any damage, but also they're not attacking you, so you could have gotten that add-on. It's a huge part of early-game TVT to try to figure out, like, when do you get that add-on and what upgrades are you getting with it. So you can see the barracks lands. This can be highly annoying, but, of course, if you are getting Goliaths, it's not going to be that big of a problem. Now, if he had 1 more Vulture, this barracks land would have been amazing, because then you can run in and kill your opponent's Vultures, but it would have been 5-on-5. You even saw the SCV come up for Mihu in preparation for that. That's generally what this will do. So, you know, a little bit sad there. Looks like Mihu will lose a Vulture for free. He's going to lay a few mines down in the front just to make sure he's not going to die from anything. Pretty consistent production here, going up to the 4 Goliaths. He's going into a starport as well. It looks like he has lost his own factory across the map. Oh, this is a great matchup. Oh my god. Okay, so we have 4 Goliaths coming up, but mines, right? Leta trying to put some pressure on. And we have 4 Goliaths here, but he has the mines, so he's good defensively. Now, we have a dropship type of tech here from Mihu, whereas we have 4 factory from Leta, right? Both sides have lost their barracks, so they made the decision, what do I want to make before that barracks goes down? Of course, they're both replacing those barracks, but it's important to decide. And this is actually a pretty classical position for Goliath openers, right? There's 2 ways you can approach it. One is Mihu's way, which is a little bit more popular in the pro scene, to go for dropship, because you're kind of sitting back turtled, and then you put on dropship pressure, you add more factories, you break out of any containment and do harassment with your Goliaths. The other way is what Leta has done here, where you go for 4 factory to try to overwhelm a bit on ground. Now, this is more mobile, what Mihu is doing. This is more powerful straight up, what Leta is doing. I don't think that there is one that is better than the other. In this particular case that I'm looking at, I kind of like the drop that's going to be coming out of Mihu, because he has the mines out already. He has siege tanks behind them already, so it doesn't feel like Leta is going to get damage done. But will Mihu get damage done with this? He is going to fall behind as far as army supply goes, and you can see that reflected up here in those supplies, even though they're at the same worker counts. Now, more units coming up from Leta, so he's looking to put a huge amount of pressure on. There are no comm stats yet. He does have an academy on the way. The drop comes out. Let's see what type of damage Mihu can pick off. Look at this. This is actually pretty significant so far. 4 or 5 SCVs continues to get more and more because all of Leta's units have gone to the front lines. Lucky for Leta, he has 2 tanks pop out. If these tanks were like here, he would have been in much more trouble, but still in a lot of trouble. He ends up losing about 10-ish SCVs. That's a gigantic drop. A gigantic drop. He saved the dropship. 5 tanks over here. You know, the tanks had to stay back and defend. This is the perfect opportunity for Mihu to do more. Can Mihu continue with this type of play? He actually makes a secondary dropship. This is not a common follow-up to this build that Mihu has done. But this is actually very, very cool. Like, he knows, once again, I was talking earlier about positionally. You can bring from Mihu's position, you can bring units from the front line to a drop really, really fast. Not the same situation here for Leta. So Leta's sitting back, and, dude, he doesn't have enough here to actually engage us. Look at this. The 4 siege tanks. Well, actually, he lays a mine down there. Okay, does target that down very nicely. And it looks like Leta will have enough to break through, but there's a very powerful drop behind his mineral lines. So this is going to do a lot of damage because the SCVs cannot get back here to fight. In the meantime, a lot of units die for Leta, but he does kill off that army from Mihu. Mihu laying more mines. The mines keeping him safe. But the 3 siege tanks behind the mineral line are really hard to deal with. You can see a lot of damage being dealt right now. And yeah, that's kind of a tough one, isn't it? He is in a tough spot. Look at that. Nice scan goes down. Leta going to get a lot of damage onto his siege tank. Mihu staying in a very defensive position behind his mines and still just loading up 2 dropships at a time. Incredibly powerful plays. Oh, man. Even a Goliath comes up and takes a shot for the team getting on top of that siege tank. Another one tries the same type of move. And it looks like Leta will eventually clear. But we have 2 more dropships coming out. Now, can Leta stabilize here? He's getting his 3rd command center. We have Mihu thinking about the same type of move. A little drop on the side out of range of those siege tanks. He's going to lay his own vultures. He's laying some mines down as well. Dude, what a cool game we're seeing. You see Mihu really eclipsing the SCV count of Leta here. Leta taking tons and tons and tons of damage. Mihu with some very strong strategic and tactical play. And again, not that what Leta did was necessarily wrong, but you can definitely see how powerful this is from Mihu. He's done a fantastic job of setting this up. Loving this play from Mihu. I think positionally the way he did this as well, very, very smart. Now, a Wraith is on the way, but that's a big supply differential. I am very nervous for Leta here. I don't think he's going to last a lot longer. It definitely does look like Mihu should be able to kill him, right? Like, look at this. He's just dropping 4 siege tanks on top of everything. Picks it back up. Obviously, the Wraith is going to be coming out. Does Mihu just run? I think, yeah, I was going to say, like, I know a Wraith is coming and you will eventually lose all this, but I think the amount of potential damage you have here is so insanely high that it's better to just lose the tanks. Right? Like, it looks like he's going to chase down the dropships. Maybe he'll end up getting those. Maybe there will be a Goliath waiting. But look at the damage these siege tanks are doing. We have vultures running around. In the meantime, most everything has been cleared. Leta doesn't have a lot of recourse right now. Flies right into those Goliaths. Dude, he's completely screwed. He's at 13 SCVs. That's going to be it. GG Mihu with a dominating performance here against Leta. Will go to that winners match. So going into our second match here, we have Saber, who once again got his seed via Piano, having to retire from the tournament. Piano had a lot going on. You know, I mentioned during the cast, he's a caster now. He does a lot of work with teaching people and the university leagues and stuff like that. So he had to bow out of the tournament, unfortunately, and Saber takes his place. But Saber really did play very well in that final group of the round of 32. So honestly, I'm happy to have him here. And imagine if he wasn't here, then it would be a 4 Terran group. Wouldn't that be insane? His opponent going to be my favorite Terran and yours, Scan. Just a fantastic Terran player. He's been in ASL before, really right on the brink of getting in there every single time. He makes it to the finals almost every time. I feel like he's been eliminated by light more times than is fair. He's been eliminated by Barracks a few times as well, and Barracks has been in like every ASL. So think of that, right? Like some very tough players have knocked Scan out, but Scan won CNSL Season 5. He did end up falling in Season 6. Actually, I believe it was DeWalt that eliminated him, if I'm recalling correctly. But, you know, I think he is definitely one of the favorites here to take down this season. Definitely one of the strongest players. So, Saber right now, going to be able to scout him first with this Overlord. Probably put the Overlord right over here. Pretty common, pretty popular play. And, yeah, Scan probably just going to go for a quick command center here. That would be my guess. Sending his SCV up to scout. He sees the Overlord, so he's just going to go scout that location. And we'll see if he goes for the second depot or not. I would imagine that he'll just go for the command center. Scan likes optimizing like that, so wouldn't be surprised. Over here on Saber's base, it looks like a pretty standard 2 hatchery type of play. Probably a very fast layer is my feel there. I think he's going to want to be pretty aggressive. You know, Scan's natural is right behind his base. So that's, you know, something that he can definitely attack consistently. Scan throws the depot down, so looks like he does not want to go for the more optimized, faster command center, but instead maybe something with more Marines for pressure. It's been popular lately for Terran players to rally their very first Marine across the map, and it does the funniest thing. So this Marine you see going across to quote-unquote attack, generally what this does is it makes like 1 drone retreat from the natural. Let's just see. Watch. Okay? But that's generally about all it can do. You'll see that Scan is watching very closely to see what hatches out of eggs. You know, normally... Look, watch this. Oh my god, this is so funny. Because seriously, this is really popular right now. This is why I know this. He runs up and forces 1 drone to run away. See that? That's literally all you do with this Marine. This is the level of Brood War right now. Okay, if you're a top player, this move is something you now do. Where you literally walk one of your first units, something so weak across the map, and you force 1 drone to miss mining a little bit. How much did that cost Saber? Probably 8 minerals, okay? It probably cost him 1 mining trip total. But there it is. You cost him 8 minerals, and what did it cost Scan? Nothing but APM. Now, if you screw up and you lose the Marine, or you don't produce an SCV on time, or send it to mine on time, or anything like that, it's suddenly not worth it. So this is only a very top-level move. Okay, anyways, I wanted to point that out to you because it's funny, because like I've been seeing every pro do that, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it is good. Is this something I should incorporate in my play? I'm like, I think I got other things to worry about before I try to cost him 8 minerals at the beginning of the game. Anyways, Saber throwing down his own Spire. Getting speed as well. Getting that extractor up for those extra Mutalisks. Over at Scan's side of the map, we can see that he's going for a very fast +1 attack. So definitely going to be trying to put some pressure on here. In the mid-game, I would imagine that he's going to go to 4 barracks play. By the way, the SCV sees exactly where Saber wants that additional base. And in fact, Saber will go ahead and throw down that hatchery. So yeah, that's good for Saber, getting his 3rd base up at a very good time before that Spire is even done. And of course, he doesn't know for sure what this build is, but I think you can look at this and really it feels like it is a fast +1. And why does it feel like that? Well, he's seen how many Marines have popped out. If you're popping out this many Marines, it's generally not an Academy Rush. You have to skip a few Marines to make the Academy Rush fit. And the Academy Rush would be moving out right now, and it'd have 2 medics with 2 barracks behind. Right? So it's like still, I mean, the Academy's still fast and everything, and you might look and say, well, why doesn't he move out anyways? Well, he doesn't have enough barracks to refill his army, right? So if this is counterattacking, you have 1 barracks, and this army's like over here, you're going to lose the game. But if you have 2 barracks, you'll actually be okay. It's wild, the lines that exist within Brood War. Now, Mutalisks coming out, 7 already in production. Range started here before missile turrets. Scan has to be feeling good about this build. He does build a missile turret on this side as well. These locations on Apocalypse are really tricky because you have to defend both sides of the command center, which is not that normal. Normally you have like kind of a frontal area and then you have your back, and the other side kind of goes towards your base, so you can kind of stop them there. That's not the case here, right? The mutas have this area to play in where you can't see them, and then of course this whole area where you can't hit them. So it's like you have a much more harassable natural than a lot of bases, a lot of maps. Not to say that it makes the map insanely bad for Terran or anything. It's another thing you have to deal with mutas, and it's something to take into consideration. The way that Scan is choosing to deal with this is the +1 builds, like straight up, right? +1 allows you to get on the map earlier and forces the mutas out of your base because the mutas have to deal with the bio. So that's like, it's kind of a certain type of mutalistic defense in and of itself. And you can see Saber here already with really excellent control. Picks off a medic there. He's picking off several Marines. Another medic? Really good. Really good stuff. The turret's going to hold this back for now. Okay, we don't have a factory yet. We'll see if Scan starts it now. He needs to start it now. This is like about as late as you really want to get a factory. Producing a lot of Marines at the moment. He does have a pretty healthy and solid SCV count. There's that factory I was talking about, just on time. And you can see Saber, he's doing some great rotations. Look at that, dude. He's picking off a lot of units for free. And again, this is because of the shape of the natural, why he's able to get that much additional damage. And in fact, I have to say right now, Saber's winning. Saber is absolutely outdoing Scan right now. He's got his third gas up. He's really heavy on Mutalisk production. We don't see him going for anything else. There's no Evolution Chamber, no Queen's Nest, no Hydralisk Den, right? It's just Mutas with the +1 coming. And in fact, he's going to get on top of Scan's Marines. Uh-oh, bad news right now for Scan. The Mutas killing off just about every single Marine. The Mutalisk, like, he should throw down a Hydralisk Den, I feel like. But Saber is actually, yeah, okay, there it is. He's making more Mutas still, but Hydralisk Den and Queen's Nest are going to be made from him. So he's going to continue forward with his tech. 5th barracks added for Scan. The one thing we can say for Scan is he hasn't really lost SCVs. He's lost a lot of Marines, and that can be okay if you're not taking economic damage, if you have a nice, solid economy, which Scan does still have right now. But the more Marines that are killed off, the more Mutas that come down, opens up more possibilities for not only possibly a death blow on top of the barracks, but maybe harassing the edges, right? Like, he could kill these depots. That's 100%. He's going to take out this turret. Okay. Making it hard to move Marines up here to defend. Oh, man. This is a brutal amount of damage. Oh, God. He's actually bringing in some Zerglings now as well, and he gets on top of the barracks. This is what I was talking about. One of these death blows upon the barracks, and Scan's going to GG. Overwhelming play here from Saber, who will advance to the losers match. Wow. Pretty amazing. Well done by Saber. GG. Thanks for watching.